Have you tried out the new Shutter Island map in Bloodstrike yet? If you are a mobile player, you might not have had the chance. In today's video, I'll guide you through Shutter Island and share some winning strategies you can use to dominate the map. In Shutter Island, there are 6 key areas you need to know about. Based on my experience playing Shutter Island, I will rank these areas based on their popularity. The most popular landing spot is the prison. However, it's not necessarily because it has better loot. The prison area tends to attract more people because it's where the action is, making it the hot drop area in Shutter Island. The prison area can also be the most confusing part of the map. Once you are inside of this building, you will find multiple floors, making it difficult to determine where attacks are coming from. It's usually advised to avoid this area if you are not looking for unnecessary trouble. However, if you are feeling adventurous like me, you can roam around the staircases up and down, encountering new enemies and saying hi along the way. Running around like this can be a fun way to play the game, but it is not advisable if your whole team is doing that. If all of you end up getting eliminated, your team will lose and you will rank lower as a result. So it's important to strike a balance between adventurous play and strategic caution. In my view, the top floor, rooftop, or the ground floor of the prison are the best spots to be. You will often spot enemies moving through these areas, giving you opportunities for kills. My strategy is drop into the roof for some quick action, then move to the top floor. From there, you can scan all the floors below for enemies to take down. Don't hesitate to engage if you see a chance. The next hot spot in Shutter Island is the boiler room, a popular area right after the prison. It's close to the prison, but there's a noticeable gap between them. Always check the roofs of the buildings before moving between them to avoid getting ambushed. The boiler room is less complex than the prison, with several rooms spread across multiple buildings. Unlike the prison, there aren't many floors to worry about, as most players are usually in the prison area. Boiler room can be considered one of the safest areas in the map because it's less likely for enemies to expect you there. Many players who land on boiler room tend to loot it and then head over to the prison area to engage with the other enemies. However, I wouldn't recommend this strategy because the prison area often sees frequent gunfights, resulting in quick arm upgrades for players there. If you eliminate one team in the boiler room and then try to push into the prison, you will likely face a heavily armored and prepared opposition, making it difficult to succeed. The next busiest spot in Shutter Island is the processing zone. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this area because there's a wide gap in between huge buildings, making it risky to move from one building to the other. Additionally, despite the buildings appearing large, they usually don't have multiple floors, and loot here is often less compared to the prison and the boiler room. However, some people choose to land here because they enjoy mid-range gunfights. One amusing thing about the processing zone is that there's a shop facing the prison, so most of the time if you are trying to buy something there, you will end up getting attacked from the prison. What sets apart prison and the processing zone is the basketball courts, so there's a huge space in between. It's always advised to use the edges of the premises to move from prison to the processing zone or processing zone to the prison. Alright, now that we have covered the 3 most popular places in Bloodstrike, let's move on to the other 3, which are located near the sea. The residential area in Shutter Island is a favorite spot for many players. It's packed with houses and loot, but not too many tryhards, making it easy to win fights. Plus, you get to enjoy some beautiful scenery while you are there. If you are tired of chaos in the prison, the residential area is a good alternative. Moving between residential area and the prison is straightforward, with a big slope between them. You are less likely to face attackers from prison if you are in the residential area than the other way around. Interestingly, the next most popular spot in Shutter Island is not the port, it's the water treatment plant. When players respawn after dying in the prison or boiler room, they often head to water treatment plant to quickly loot and jump back into action. It's more convenient than going to the port where you would encounter different set of enemies. The water treatment plant is often used as a pit spot to gather supplies before heading into the boiler room or prison. During the second revive flights, many players choose to land here to quickly get back into action. While it's not my favorite area, there are shops where you can easily get custom loadouts or anything else you need. Just be cautious because eventually everyone ends up here. In my experience, the least popular place is the port. Maybe because the port is already familiar in ordinary Battle Royale games. If you want more action, they jump there. In games like PUBG Mobile, we land on Nova or George Pool for extra action. In Call of Duty Mobile, we land on docks. In Bloodstrike, we have the port or the trade zone. And honestly, we don't play Shutter Island for that experience. Now that we have covered each and every location in Shutter Island, let's dive into some tips and tricks to how to secure a win in this map. I'm not a pro player, so these tips are mainly for casual players looking to clinch a victory because, spoiler alert, it's not that easy. The first question is, which striker are you going to use in Shutter Island? Obviously not all strikers will be equally effective here. It's fast paced with more close quarter combat. You need some sort of mobility and ability to escape from tight situations. Based on my experience in Shutter Island, here are the best strikers you should use, and I'll explain why. In my opinion, the best striker for Shutter Island is Zero. The main reason is that you can move around faster than any other striker in the game. When it comes to the prison building, we have ladders outside of the building to get to the top, and it takes quite a lot of time to do that. So if you are Zero, you won't have to worry about any of these. You can engage in gunfights in the middle area of the prison where things are complex with multiple floors and stairs. If you have Zero in these type of areas, there's high chance of you surviving. I have seen a lot of people use Zero as well already, so they know how useful this striker is for Shutter Island. The next best striker in my opinion is Hank. The main reason is he's got a 5% damage boost if he uses a shotgun or a submachine gun. Now don't get me wrong, unlike Zero, you actually need to have some sort of gun skills to use Hank, because if you are Zero and things don't go as planned, you can use this skill to get away from the situation really easily. But that's not the case for Hank. You will need a bit of pre-preparedness to use him. You have to skillfully plant the turret to trap enemies and then finish them off. And the fact that he's got a camo type outfit blends very well with some of the areas in this map. If you want to stay alive until the very last moment, the best striker you should use to keep you and your team alive is Spike, because you can literally become invisible and make no sound, which means you are surviving. Spike will definitely help you get a higher team rank position in Shutter Island match, and you can sneak up on enemies and finish them off without them even realizing you were there. Since everything happens in very close quarter combat, Spike is really valuable in Shutter Island. Using Blast can be really helpful if you are playing as a squad and sticking together. This is because Blast passive skill reveals enemies through walls for 2 seconds when they are damaged. It helps other teammates locate enemies fast, which is very helpful in a map where there are many places to hide and get into. Ethan and Ran are also really helpful strikers in Shutter Island. Ethan's shield allows you to rush enemies, but it is not advisable if you are trying to rush into multiple enemies because the shield can be broken quickly. If you use Ran, you can use the ice wall to block and avoid enemies from reaching you and your team. For example, if a group of enemies coming towards you, you can use the ice wall to cover a door completely, shutting them down. Ran is more like a defensive striker in Shutter Island. Volt is another really helpful striker as you can stop others from using their skills. Each squad should have Volt in my opinion to make sure they can counter strikers like Zero, Hank and Spike. If you are focusing more on support, you can play as well because she reveals enemy locations, which would be really useful for your teammates. That's all about the strikers. When it comes to landing locations, I suggest starting at the prison. This gives you a good idea about the types of enemies you are dealing with and how good your teammates are. If you and your teammate can go toe to toe with the enemies in the prison area, there's a high chance of dominating in the prison. If not, head over to the boiler room to resupply. If you enjoy longer matches, you can jump to the port because fewer people go there. If you enjoy long range gunfights, head over to the residential area or the water treatment plant. I always use this strategy to assess enemy types and adjust my gameplay accordingly. When it comes to weapons, the most overpowered choice in Shutter Island is the MP155 shotgun. It only takes 2-3 shots to take down an enemy regardless of their armor. This is much more efficient compared to a submachine gun or an assault rifle, which often requires a full magazine to eliminate an enemy. Using a shotgun can be a game changer. While some may opt for the Origin 12 shotgun, I have much more respect for those who wield the MP155. In Shutter Island, it's generally better to opt for a submachine gun over an assault rifle, especially when you are within the prison area. The P90 is a reliable choice for a submachine gun due to its effectiveness in mid to close range encounters. As for assault rifles, the AK-47 SCAR or the CAC-6 are powerful options worth considering. Prioritize completing bounty missions as they provide valuable intel on enemy locations, similar to having a UAV, which can be extremely useful in navigating the map and engaging enemies. Having a substantial amount of cash is crucial in Shutter Island, especially towards the end of the match. In the final showdown between the last two teams, the outcome often boils down to the cycle of reviving and fighting, with revive flights becoming a key aspect of the battle. Therefore, the team with more cash reserves has a significant advantage as they effort to revive their teammates more frequently, ultimately increasing their chances of victory. Ensure that every team member has enough cash on hand as they approach to the end game to maximize the team's survivability and increase the odds of winning. Thanks for watching. For mobile players eagerly awaiting the release of Shutter Island, mark your calendars for April 11. Until then, you can revisit this video, brush up your strategies for securing victory in the Shutter Island. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Bloodstrike videos like this. See you in the next one.